I'm gonna grab some coffee.
Alrighty. Welcome everybody to Not a Worm Wednesday. It's not a worm Sunday. It's Saturday evening and I got some new worms. I didn't want to wait till tomorrow to put them in because they're in bags. They might be fine, but I just don't want to keep them over 24 hours. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be doing another stream, which will be my Sunday stream, and I'll be making brindle and microworm cultures. But on this stream, I'm going to show you how to set up blackworm cultures. I have one culture. It's in a 5-gallon bucket. But I'm going to be expanding to a larger tank. It's roughly 8 to 10 gallons. It's a 40 breeder for reptiles, and you're not supposed to fill those with water. So that is only filled like that much. It's got an air stone in it, and I got some new worms today. So I'll be showing you how to set that up. And I'm in the fish room, obviously. But let me move and find a spot where this sits. Alright, I think this is good. Let me go grab my worms real quick. Alrighty, this is like my corner. Not here, this won't be mine. But this, right here, this is gonna be where I'm gonna breed betas. This is gonna be my brindle worm culture, and then here is what we're making tonight, which is a nice blackworm culture. You probably can't read that. So let's say some hellos. Fish on Tank Ticks, hello. John Larson, welcome. Dave Farrell, hello. Geek Boy, hello. Miss Lori, Monster Fish Gal, welcome. Guppy Grass Galore Guy, welcome. Olivia, welcome to the stream. So this is the worms that I had, and then I got 2 bags of worms from my LFS, Benson's Fish Room, and the water's getting a bit foul because there's so many worms in a bag. This is my substrate I'll be using. I won't be covering the entire bottom because I want to make it easier to harvest the worms, but this is a 40 breeder, and you can see that's filled only a little bit, and it's got a pretty big air stone in it, and I'm going to show you. It's going to be a quick stream. Shouldn't take more than half an hour or so. But I'll be showing you how I set up my blackworm cultures. So, John McKenzie, welcome. So first, I'm going to and there's plenty of airline so that I can always keep the air stone in the middle. In fact, yeah, I'm just going to try and move on to the side. So this is where I'll be making my culture, and I have my bucket of substrate. I'm not sure how I'm going to get the substrate in, but I might try to dump it. I don't want to put my hands in there because this is my old blackworm culture, so it's still got lots of worms in there. I did clean it this morning, but I wish I had a little cup with me. There's some upstairs. Maybe if somebody's listening, they'll bring one down to me. But this is, I want to say it's sea chem fluorite. Might be black fluorite. It's a sea chem fluorite gravel. It's not the sand. It's a very sharp. I'm going to say that sharp, but it's a good amount of sharpness, which is what you want because blackworms breed. They split in a form called segmentation, which is where they basically, from what I've heard, is they rub against the sharp gravel, and that's how they split themselves, and then that makes 2. And some have said that they lay eggs. They don't lay. I haven't ever seen mine lay eggs, and quite a few other people haven't, but they very well could. And then you can also split them yourself, which like take a credit card or something and cut the worms in half, which is what I've done once. So that worked fairly well. None of the worms died from what I've seen. My father's here. Hello. Thank you. So I have a little cup, a little, not so little cup, and I'm just going to scoop up the substrate. You can see there's a few worms. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's still some worms in there. And there's plenty of room so you can easily get the cup back and forth. I don't want to get too much of the old water in there because the substrate will have enough of the beneficial bacteria from my old culture to where I won't need to use the old water, which there's not much water in here. I don't want to use the old water. I want them to have all fresh water because I think one of the reasons the worms smell bad is because I use Fritz Complete in here, which if anybody used it, it doesn't smell all that great. So maybe that like coated the worms or something. I've heard you're not supposed to use water conditioner. I learned that today while Googling things. So I won't be using any water conditioner. This morning we just filled this up with coldish water, and they breed fairly well at room temperature, so we're not going to have a heater or a cooler in here or anything. And there's obviously an air stone to keep the worms moving. I used to keep my culture, my 5-gallon bucket culture, this one. I never kept that with an air stone except for when I first set it up. And from what I've seen, I think that they breed better with an air stone. So in this 40 breeder, there's a large air stone, right? And I would say there's a few gallons of water in there. Probably like 5 or 8 max.
Tell me the laptop did the chair and I don't. I'm just messing with you. Go ahead, do your thing.
No. Yeah. Alright, so I gave my father the chair my laptop is sitting on. So now it's sitting on the 5-gallon buckets, which is still fine. You can see a different angle of this. But I'm putting this black fluorite in the corners. Okay. I'm putting it in the corners of the tank. If I have extra, I'll start putting it along the edges more. Hold on, I'm going to post the StreamYard link. But I'm going to line the edges a bit more if I have extra substrate. But it's got a good bacteria in it, so I'm gonna use it all. It's dark, so you don't really see the worms in that much. That's why I don't want to cover the entire bottom. In this dark substrate, I don't have any lighter substrate, so this should be enough though. So. And if it isn't, it's fine because I've seen tons and tons of people do their worm cultures without substrate at all. And I've seen pictures of Eastern Aquatics, their Blackworm cultures. They have close to 50 blackworms. They have some outdoors and some in greenhouses, and they're massive. They're massive. And that's how they harvest their blackworms. So I think it's pretty cool.
I think it's pretty cool. You said you didn't want to put the old water in there.
Huh?
You said you didn't want to put the old water in there. You did it twice.
I know. I just don't want to leave any blackworms behind. Sandy Farrell, welcome. If I missed anyone, hello. Anybody's welcome to join. We won't be going too long. I'm just going to show basics of setting a blackworm culture up. Just so people can come back to the stream and reference it. If anybody wants to set up a culture of their own. T-Bones Fishes, welcome. Yeah, there's so for this 5-gallon bucket, I had it filled with like that much substrate. So I'm just taking that and piling up in the corners so I can still see the worms in the middle, which is what I want.
Mismatched socks this year.
Mismatched socks, welcome. You know what? I'm just going to use the old water. There isn't that much of it, but there are blackworms in here, and I don't want any blackworms to be left behind. So, and for water changes, some say you have to do water changes every single day with so many worms in a place, in a smaller place, or even a larger place. Alright, this might get annoying. Alright, so you're just listening for water.
I turned mine off.
Will you turn your volume on?
Yeah, should I turn it up?
Hopefully someone can hear us. Because normally I can hear myself through the laptop. So like give a thumbs up, thumbs down. You can hear us. Hopefully you can. So please let us know. Unless you want to, All right, can you hear us? The Zen Ginger, welcome. Can barely hear you. Can you not see it anywhere? Oh, never mind. It's just your thing. The Zen Ginger, welcome. Sarge's Aquariums, welcome. It got quieter in here. Hopefully you can hear us better. Yeah, so audio is good now. All right, good. I'll try and talk a bit louder. There is a lot of bubbling paints in here, so it's hard to. Oops. It's hard to try and talk over them. So I got almost all the substrate out, which is what I wanted. And the last of the substrate's going in right now. All right. Hello to anybody that I missed. Hello to all the workers. So I'm going to keep these new ones in a bag for a minute, and these old ones that I have, well, the ones from my previous culture that I had, you can see if it prevents us tank. I'm just going to dump some of the water. Now there's only a couple of balls of worms in there, and those I'm just going to put right in the middle and let them free in their home. I'll get the rest of the substrate in after. I'll find a way to get it in. But I'm just going to take this whole container and I scoop the substrate in with right here. And I'm going to take the first, actually I'm going to take this bag. I'm going to take the first bag of blackworms and I'm going to cut it open. What fish eat blackworms? Pretty much any fish, as long as it's the right size blackworm you're feeding them. If you're feeding, if you have adult, well, okay. If you grab adult blackworms from your culture, you're going to want to feed those to a bit larger fish, like cichlids, angelfish, betas. Betas love them. Discus. Did I say angelfish? Things like that. Guppies, we'll link them too. And then for the smaller ones, like if you pull out any baby blackworms, you can feed those to various fry, as long as they're large enough. And then, yeah, I feed mine to pretty much all my fish when I have enough to harvest. And then with my other cultures, I'll talk about that tomorrow when I make those cultures. But I feed pretty much any brindle and blackworms to any of my adult fish. And then micro ones are just for my fry, primarily my fry, because they're so small. Bree, what kind of fish are in my 75? Why don't you answer that question? What kind of fish are in your 75? Those are threadfin rainbows. We just got 4 threadfin rainbows for my mother's 75, and those are going to go with the bloodfin tetras that we have in our dining room, and eventually blue marble bumblebee angelfish when we can find them. So, everybody here is now on a mission. Go look for blue bumble. Oh, I got a worm on my finger. Blue marble bumblebee angelfish that are in stock somewhere. And if you find some, let me know right now, and I'll make you a mod if you're not a mod, and you can post that link. So, go find one. Go find some. I dare you. Go do it. Or listen to my stream too. But that's a mission.
Yeah, they've been stuck everywhere.
Yeah.
They'll turn up. Oh, wait.
But this is one bag. It's a lot more worms than I thought. Lots of worms. It's a cloudy container. Lots of worms.
Hey, George.
Huh.
My phone's right here.
Oh yeah. Alright, so here's the worms. There's a good amount of them. This is one bag out of 2 that I got. This is the smaller bag. My LFS goes by scoops for selling blackworms. This one is 8 scoops and this one's 10 scoops. It ended up costing like $40 something. $40 to $50 for worms today. But this will start my lovely culture. And since this can't be filled with water, it's going to need a lot of water tubes because there's going to be so many worms in here. But yeah, so I'm just gonna pour these in, and I'm not gonna feed them for quite a while. Even though there's the beneficial bacteria in the substrate, I'm just gonna wait till they kind of get settled in their home to feed them. I didn't feed my other one all that much. So I don't think feeding them is a huge deal. Well, it might be for other people. But I threw an algae wafer in my 5-gallon culture, not a full algae wafer, just I want to say an of an algae wafer, and it molded pretty quickly and fouled my culture. So I probably won't feed them too much. They can just eat dead worms that time, because what I read online, they only last 2 weeks. So you have to continuously feed them. With all these fish, this will get them into breeding mode. Cory cats, plecos, discus, guppies, anything. If you feed them like baby brine shrimp, smaller fish, you feed microworms, brindle worms, and blackworms. Any live foods kind of prepare them for breeding. And it's a continuous source of food. So it's really nice because you don't have to continuously buy another bag of flakes or another bag of pellets. They'll continuously rebreed. And the only thing that's different, I guess, from blackworms to microworms or brindle worms is with blackworms, the only thing you have to replace is the water. And that's your regular water changes, as if this was a regular tank with fish. But with microworms or brindle worms, they all live in mashed potatoes or soil, so you have to replace that mashed potato and soil, which means you have to go get more from the store, which is cheaper than buying another bag of flakes. In the long run, I don't know how much it costs, but a box of mashed potatoes, instant mashed potatoes, I think costs $1. So I don't know. I haven't done the math because I haven't really cared that much, I guess. We got tons of food from some used tanks that we've bought in the past. And you can always make your own foods from leftover vegetables that you have from a dinner or something. And I don't know what else. I was going to say something else, but I forgot. Sandy Farrell said, Dave, check out my new guppies. My new fishies, she said. That bumblebee might just be a breeder named fish. It looks like a marble that's heavy on the yellow side. Awesome. Carlos Aquatics, welcome. Guppy Grass Galore guy said, I love mashed potatoes. Awesome. You won't love mashed potatoes that have microworms in them. I bet you that. They don't smell all that great, but they're so nutritious, and they're so great if you're trying to breed a fish. They help tremendously. Boosting the immune system of fish, and after I started culturing these worms, I haven't been that interested in flakes. I have like extreme pro flakes that I love, and some super color enhancing pellets that I also really love and enjoy. And the super color enhancing pellets are, I want to say, a 0.5 millimeter big, so they're great for guppies. But I just don't find dry foods as nutritious as live foods. And I think the fish really enjoy these, and they're really protein rich. Anyways.
The sad.
Hi, Peplink Creek Aquatics.
Well,
Yeah, I said hi to Furlough. But they're really protein packed, they're really nutritious, and I think fish really go crazy over them. And it's really fun with the blackworms to put them in your aquarium, and you can see them kind of wiggle down, and the fish go after them, especially my discus. My mother's here now, and she's going to go hand my father coffee. Okay. Scott's Aquatics, welcome. Bumblebees have only one blue Pinoy gene. Pinoy, I think. It's apparently a thing. Jess, raised us for fins. Welcome. Addictive Hobbies, welcome. But I think live food cultures, in my opinion, are so much better for fish than dry foods. And you'll probably hear me rant about this tomorrow in my stream. I'm making 4 cultures. This tank is being turned into a culture. This will be my brindle worms that I make quite frequently on my worm Wednesdays for me. And I'll be making 3 microworm cultures, and they're going to be like tucked here because they don't smell good. So they're going to be in little Tupperware containers, how they are in my room, and they don't seem to smell that way. But these have mesh lids, so I don't want the smell of microworms stinking up this room. Now, grindle worms, they don't have that bad of a smell unless you mess something up with your culture, or it's way past time to change half the soil. Now, blackworms, they can't smell. That's the only time I found they smell is when you cut off the air circulation. When it's time to do a water change or something, and you've cut off the air, and then you start to smell the blackworms that smell like burning rubber or something. But they don't smell very good. Well, they don't taste good for humans. I was actually talking about that in my local fish store today, about eating aquatic plants. But you probably are best off getting live food cultures. Some people don't want to put in the extra work to change out half the soil or transition from one container to another for microworms, or change the water every week or 2 for blackworms, unlike just opening and closing a Ziploc bag to feed your flakes or your pellets. And it's a lot easier and a lot less work to just have a bag of pellets or a container of pellets and just easily feed them, or have an automatic feeder. But I just feel, since this is going to be a breeding room, and we're also going to be selling food cultures, I think it's best if we just have a larger culture, so we can easily feed them. What I used to have, this 5-gallon bucket, I used to neglect it, I guess. I wouldn't really have that much interest in doing water changes on these worms, because it was just a 5-gallon bucket at the end of my bed, and you would never see it because it's blue. And frequently I would kick it, and it was very annoying with the air pump, because it was one air pump for this culture. And I found it so annoying because I would kick over the bucket or the air pump, and it would just take up so much time to try and reassemble something or do a water change, because it is a 5-gallon bucket, and I didn't want to have a siphon tube, because that would suck up some of the worms. And I didn't want to start a siphon with my mouth, because that would be absolutely disgusting to get any sort of worm water in my mouth. I don't mind worms. I will pick up a handful of worms. In a way, my worms are similar to Simply Betta's worms. She's got larger cultures, and she cultivates them to feed them to her fish, and she picks them up with her hands too. And worms don't bite, and if they do, they probably don't cause that much harm. I'm not going to do Bristol worms, because that would not be a fun experience. But worms don't bother me. I find them interesting, and I'm so happy and grateful that I get to make these larger cultures. And I think in the long run, it will save on having to constantly buy flakes or a high-protein food, or even a high-protein frozen food for breeding betas. You have to condition them with high-protein food, or just giving our fish a really good, varied high-protein diet, which could consist of both live foods and dry foods. But it's good that we're not sticking to just dry foods or just frozen foods. It's good that we can vary them with dry, frozen, and live. And I think the live blackworms will use them most because so many fish can eat them, and so many fish will see them. The grindle worms are a bit smaller than the blackworms, but you can feed them to fish and they'll actually have a reaction. And that's with my discus. When I feed grindle worms to my discus, they don't have that much of a reaction. Sometimes, and most of the time, they don't even eat them. But blackworms, they go nuts over. Any fish that you can feed bloodworms or even smaller frozen foods, they'll eat blackworms. And I think that if you can have one live food culture, it would either be blackworms or grindleworms because they're similar in size and they're so easy and they repopulate so quickly. But if you're looking for actual results that you can see, it would be grindleworms because in grindleworms you can see that tiny little clump of white worms, or white colored worms. White worms and grindleworms are a different thing, but you see that tiny little clump of grindleworms, you'll slowly see them expand and expand and expand. So, but with these blackworms, you'll see this clump now, but then a little while when you go to harvest, you won't see that much of a difference from what I've done. And every few days, we will be pulling from all these cultures, but it won't affect the population because hopefully they'll reproduce fast enough to where us pulling from the cultures to feed all of our fish we're breeding and maybe not even breeding, it won't affect the population. And hopefully the population still grows from what we pull from it. And hopefully I can get a really good producing culture from that. What soil are you guys using? It's a Seachem. Well, no, I think you're talking about the one that in the crib tank that's next to me. That one's pool filter sand. But if you're talking about the one I'm using in the blackworms, I'm using a Seachem fluorite gravel. Someone else probably got to that question. All right, have a good weekend. T-Bones fishies. All right, my father's back. Yep, T-Bone's leaving.
Bye, T-Bone. Good luck.
So, yeah, I just feel like black ones are a lot easier, and you get so much of a reaction from fish, and so many more fish will eat them. Now with grindle worms, if you keep smaller fish like guppies, like I do, and then larger fish like discus, you could feed blackworms to both of them. But if you only have grindle worms, pretty much the guppies will eat them. Smaller discus will definitely eat them, but your discus are going to grow and you're not going to eat the things anymore. If you have full-grown discus, they'll obviously eat bloodworms, but they'll love blackworms too. And I got both little patches in here, and on my string tomorrow, I'll definitely re-show these so you can see that they've moved and kind of how they're doing and what they look like. But I'm going to show these right now to show what they look like. The worms. Alright, so this is the worms. There's not a light on them, obviously. But there's one clump and then a clump behind that. So, two little clumps, there's the ear stone, and then there's substrate scattered along the sides. You can rest a little watch there. Like I said, the reason I'm not putting substrate all over it is because I can still see the worms now, and Maybe we'll add a little bit more water, just because it's a bit difficult to see the worms. So maybe we can raise it to like here sometime. But they don't need a high of a temperature. You can store them in your fridge. They don't breed that fast in the fridge. Room temperature, they breed. That's their fastest breeding rate. So that's what I've seen. That little piece of driftwood up front, closest to the camera, is screaming for an Anubias or some Christmas moss to be stuck in there.
Yes, who's that?
Susan Ginger. We have some Anubias. And I just got more portions of Christmas moss today because I've sold some.
There's a piece of moss back there that's just laying there. It's probably gonna go on that. But I don't know yet.
Yep, that's delicate fern moss he was talking about. Guppy grass galore. Bree has lots of guppies, and my Dumbo dark dragons are having more babies every day. Yep. German. We have quite a lot of strains. We have German ribbon fin, big-eared dark dragons, Dumbo blue dragons, Dumbo metalheads, swallow ribbon fin powder blue, half black Dumbos, Dumbo icicle, Dumbo Santa Claus, Moscow butterfly, muck guppies, obviously. Anybody that line breeds probably has muck guppies. Platinum tiger mosaics, yellow mosaics, and sunrise guppies. Those are the guppy strains that we have right now. Guppy grass galore guy said, cool, I'm setting up more tanks to grow plants and hold guppies. Awesome. I got guppy grass today, and I had so much that I could put it in all of my guppy tanks. But yep, these are 2 little clumps of worms in there right now. I bet tomorrow they'll be all scattered around. But hopefully they reproduce well, and we can feed them to lots of fish. I wish I had a turkey basket in here.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Those credenzas you're looking at came from Jess and Maine's Tails Frozen Feds.
Maine's tails for.
And
Yes, she has a confusing name apparently.
I just want to hit an S on everything. But
Maine's tails fernfins.com. Go check her out. She's got some awesome guppies, awesome credenzas. So definitely go check her out. That's the person that pretty much started this channel. Of course, I actually started it by clicking buttons, but she sent some of her subscribers over here, and she kind of got me started on doing videos and things like that. Against the Flow, welcome. I did email you back about the Blackworm yesterday. Awesome. I was hoping you would put the guppy grass with the guppies. Thanks again for being my first customer. Yeah, of course. It came really healthy. I've heard guppy grass is hard to ship, but I'm going to show this on my stream tomorrow, hopefully. But this guppy grass came so green. Greener than that's the greenest plant I've ever seen. There was no pieces of die-off anywhere. There was some jungle val and dwarf sagittaria in there too, and that came perfect as well. And yeah, it was so green, like my mother said, so green and healthy. Maybe I can show that on my stream tomorrow. I'll be down here again. Because I'll be making some more cultures down here tomorrow evening, 3 p.m. My father might be here. He probably will be. He'll be looking at his fish, I'm sure.
I could just set up my phone and my fish upstairs.
True. But yeah, I'll be making this 10-gallon brindleworm culture tomorrow evening, and then 3 small microworm cultures, which I'm excited for. We got home a bit late with the blackworms and stuff. They're setting up a new workbench, which will have to show because I'm not 100% sure.
Because we should probably take over the name. If it's on camera.
Maybe. I mean, some other people, I've seen videos where they do, like products for aquariums where they show like sea and prime and things like that. You could just go hold your hand over it. Alright, yeah. Driving grad school. I think it came great. And not a lot of people have good luck shipping guppy grass, which that's really awesome that your first time shipping plants to someone, it came out like perfect green. And when I say perfect green, I don't even have a plant that looks that green. I have pretty good plants, and they're pretty
So
good.
you weren't gonna put that one.
I wasn't, but there's blackberries in here. Alright, sorry for anybody with like headphones or something. I just stirred up the blackworms, which is good because they're gonna find the substrate. They can split, and I can always go in with my mother's old credit card and cut up the worms. That's what I did once, and I think it worked really well. So if the worms are still out in clumps tomorrow, I'll probably go in and slice and dice up.
Your father fish algae scraper.
Or a little sword.
Or sword, or samurai sword, yes. So you throw them up. Or ninja.
Worm ninja. Worm woman. Aim Spiritfish said, hi, driving home from the pet store because picky cat won't eat the cat food. Jeez.
You got one of those.
Fijon Tank Pick said, I was cooking supper with my wife. See all the gorgeous people later. Alright, we'll probably end it in a couple, probably a minute or two. But yeah, and anybody that's setting up a worm culture, you can keep them in quite a variety of temperatures. Thank you. It's cold in here.
Is it?
That's why I'm wearing socks. But you can keep them at quite a variety of temperatures. Some people store them in the fridge. Some are shipped with ice packs, and some are kept at room temperature. And like I was saying earlier, Eastern Aquatics keeps theirs outside. So I'm sure that the temperature is warm out there. So they can withstand a wide variety of temperatures. This is in our basement. I used to keep this bucket just sitting on our cold basement floor, but this is our fish room basement, and it's fully blocked off, so it should stay a good 70, 75 degrees in here. So that's what I'm keeping these worms at. And like I said, I'm probably not going to feed them. If I do, it won't be that much at all. So, yeah. If any worms die, because like I said, they only last around 2 weeks, they'll just feed off of each other and clean up. But with this many worms in this low of water, I can't fill it up much more. But they'll need quite a lot of water changes. So, yeah, I'll probably be doing a water change once every week. Oops. Hi, Olivia and Sandy. Worm woman, can you show me grindle worms?
What's that?
And spiritfish. I was. Okay, darn it. Will you be here tomorrow? Aim Spiritfish, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Will you be here for my stream tomorrow? If you will be, I will be making grindle worm cultures. I'm excited to see your guys' fish room expand. I'm pretty busy, but we'll try to get out here tomorrow. Awesome. Yeah, like my mother just typed, most of the tanks are being filled. The top row of 20s is filled. A couple more tanks we're still gonna plan on getting. But the one that he's showing right now is for plecos. We're not sure which kinds yet, but we're going to be breeding plecos.
Chocolate bristle.
Chocolate bristlenose plecos. And we might eventually even do blue-eyed lemon plecos. This lady at my LFS was showing me these absolutely gorgeous long-fin blue-eyed bristlenose plecos. Long-fin blue-eyed lemon plecos. And they were awesome. They were $70 each, that's why I didn't get one. But they were gorgeous, and I really liked them. But yeah, the top row of 20 longs is filled. The bottom row of 20 highs is filled except one. Obviously, the beta tank is filled to where it's going to be. And then
There'll be another 20-gallon long here.
you gotta talk louder. Remember, it's my microphone right here.
I know. Thought maybe they can hear me go big.
Yell. You gotta yell.
There'll be another 20 long there, and then a 10 on the end. And then 10 right here. There's two 40s there. Two 40s going there. 40-gallon warm tank. And then that's a 20 high. And then here's another 20 high for swords. And this is for the other swords. And this one says Dumbo Dark Drake. And that'll be that with that. That'll be the rest. There's the workbench. Okay. Probably got it's like very nice. And these guys. She told you what they were before because I have no idea.
Red and
That's
Right.
little. Okay.
red.
And you've been staring at the cribs and the cherry bars. And these are the 10 gallons with the water bridges. There's guppies in a couple, shrimp in a couple, plants in all of them.
Alright, so this is my grindle worm culture for Ames. Those are the sides. I definitely have to clean this, which is why I'm making the 10-gallon. The 10-gallon tomorrow. Grindle worm culture. It's my culture right now. And when is Bree doing grindle worms? Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time. I'm not sure what time zone you're in, but right now it's 7 where I am. So this time tomorrow, 4 hours earlier. So 20 hours from now, I'll be doing a stream. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time, I'll be setting up a grindle worm and a microworm culture. And Ames, I know you were asking about grindle and blackworms, so I did email you as well. I emailed you back about the grindle. I think one of the other. But yeah, I did email you. We got this new scale for shipping out. But yeah, that was pretty much the center topic of tonight's stream. 50-minute long stream. But the worm culture should produce very, very well. According to what I have done in the past with my past worm culture, hopefully it should produce fast, and Google says that every 4 weeks the culture will double in size. So in theory, in 4 weeks, I'll have a lot of worms, which will be awesome. Sandy Farrell, I sent you a video of my marbles. If you're interested, you can work out a trade. Awesome. Pebble Creek Aquatics.
Awesome.
She said awesome.
I feel like she has a lot of things.
He.
Hey, sorry.
Ryan.
It's so confusing when people don't have the names as their names, I guess. But yeah, Peplin Krieger Products.
Tell Ryan about that.
Yeah, she said she's up for trading. Yeah, she's got a 75-gallon, and she's been dying to get blue bumblebee, marble, whatever, angelfish.
Well, she's been dying for that piece of good one to sink.
Well, yes, but she really wants angelfish. So yeah, we would definitely work out a deal. You just have to let her know what you were looking for. We have lots of plants and lots of other things. We could definitely work out a trade. So the Carver family, welcome. But yeah, that's awesome. But
However,
those are my grindle worms, and I might as well just leave this falter down here because in 20 hours I'm making this. But yeah, just look out for my stream tomorrow. I'll be making grindle microworm cultures, and I guess we can end it. Fishing on 64, welcome.
I was just about to say he's live, but I don't know if he still is. I can't look anymore.
Yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed my setup of a grindle worm, microworm,
Blackworms.
blackworm culture. There's plenty of blackworms in there, and I'll definitely show the update of those tomorrow on my stream when I make 4 other cultures. So thank you for coming to my stream, and I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll make